3 nights ago, I awoke to the sound of someone pounding on my front door. Bang, bang, bang. I jumped out of bed, heart pounding, and moved toward the living room. The microwave in the kitchen read 3:17 a.m. No one should be awake right now. No one should pounding on the door. Bang, bang, bang. My front door has a frosted glass window. In front of it is a screen door. Whoever was pounding on the door was pounding on the side of the house because I could hear the screen door rattle slightly with each hit. Through the frosted glass, I could make out the fuzzy shape of a person. Crept closer, all the while thinking that this must be some mistake or that some drunk maniac from around the neighborhood had gotten lost and didn't know what time or day it is. Peeked out of the one clear spot in the door. The figure appeared to have his back turned to me, which I found strange. She was wearing a hooded sweatshirt with the hood pulled over their head. I didn't recognize their height or shape. Chill came over me. The figure turned quickly. Bang, bang, bang. I jumped back. It grabbed the door handle and started to jiggle the lock aggressively. There was no way I was opening this door. My wife was sleeping in our bedroom out back. My daughter was upstairs. Stop. Yelled, I've got a gun in here. I was lying, obviously. I hadn't even had time to grab my cell phone, and I'd stupidly forgotten the baseball bat by the side of my bed. Bang, bang. No, you don't, came the response. The voice sounded metallic, strained, like it was used to screaming. The figure grabbed the door handle and again murderously attempted to get the door open. I thanked God I had remembered to lock the door and began to think about whether the other ones were secure too. That's when I heard the recognizable sound of my sliding glass door opening. I froze. One figure was still on the porch. Something else was entering the house. The glass door is off the kitchen, which was between me, my wife in the back, and my daughter upstairs. I was in a total panic and my brain wouldn't let me do anything. Michael, came a voice from the kitchen. It had that same metallic quality to it. It was not my wife's voice, and my name is not Michael. Michael, Michael, Michael. A figure leaped out into the open space in the kitchen. He landed with the sickening grace of a ballerina. He was tall, lanky. His back was to me, but it was as if he knew exactly where I was. I was frozen. Michael. He spun around and I found myself staring into a mask of death. Eyelids had been stitched shut, but the mouth curled up into a wide grin. The thing cocked his head sideways. It began. Michael. Bang, bang, bang. The door jiggling. Bang, bang. The figure on the porch was furiously pounding on the door. I felt stuck. Suddenly, a light turned on in the back. James, what's going on? My wife had woken up. At the sudden flood of light, the thing in the kitchen spun and recoiled. I found my courage and longed at the creature, but it shrugged me off as if it were disciplining an overzealous dog. I landed on the kitchen floor and the thing fled the kitchen, out the same way it got in. Gone also was the figure from the porch. I looked at the clock. 3:23. The ordeal had taken less than 10 minutes. My wife arrived and was thoroughly confused about what I was doing. We need to call the police. I told her and then explained about what had just happened. The cops were convinced it was just a simple home robbery attempt. They told me the duo must have thought I lived alone, and that the intruder in the kitchen must have been wearing a mask. I started arguing, but they were convinced that sleep deprivation caused me to think otherwise. Refused to give in. This all felt deliberate. Who was Michael and what the hell had he gotten himself wrapped up in? What would have happened had my wife not woken up and turned on that light? I've spent the last few nights wide awake and armed in the living room. Things have been quiet, but I can't shake the feeling that they'll be back, that despite their apparent mistake, it will be me who ends up paying some ultimate price. 3:27 a.m. I open my eyes to darkness. Upon realizing that my heart is racing, my senses quickly adjust to the situation, as if activated by some primitive instinct. Someone is in my house. The footsteps drag along on the other side of the door, hardly lifting from the floor. The rhythm is irregular, and I hear a low guttural moaning. It was the kind of wail one would expect to hear from a 1,000-year-old ghost looking for a lost love. I remember that my sister is at the end of the hall. I pick up my phone to call the police. My phone is dead. I plug into the charger, count to 3, and then hold the power button. I can't hear the footsteps anymore. The phone chimes to life with a ringtone that might as well have been a siren, for the silence hadn't been bothered by even the wind at that moment. I hear the feet directly on the other side of my door. It began to attack the door, pounding and scratching. I scream and get to my feet, tear through my blinds and reach to unlock the window. I see the figure of a standing beast, standing outside my window, its form emitting a darkness greater than the opaque landscape it stands in front of, completely overridden by the threats surrounding me. I cower like an animal under my bed. The pounding has stopped. All that is left is a slow and rhythmic scratching, and then a frantic whispering, as if the creature's lips were pressed against my door. Vowels and sounds being delivered by a throat that sounded full of mucus. And then it stopped. If you enjoyed the stories, you can subscribe to hear more from me. Thank you for listening, and have a creepy night.